whatsoever studies you have done, whichsoever books you have read or the notes you have read, ultimately there is a sort of environment of confusion. कहीं ना कहीं वो confusion होता है कि whether I am ready for this or not. There's a long list of such students, those who took the advantage of these kind of courses and they have become successful. जिनको लग रहा है कि उनका content ready नहीं है, but अगर आपको लगता है कि अगर आपने एक बार syllabus को go through किया है, उस केस में the QEP Plus would be quite helpful to you, right? These are the questions for last around 15-16 years. And in fact, I have highlighted those questions which have come recently. So there will be 30 live answer writing sessions. That's the most important thing. In those 30 answer writing sessions, I would like to first of all frame a structure. हर एरिया में आपको ऐसे PDF डॉक्यूमेंट मिलेंगे जहां पे भी मुझे लगता है कि आपको एक कंटेंट चाहिए. Apart from those handwritten documents, I'll be providing you these kind of PDFs. As I told you that there is a changing pattern. You can't make your preparation based completely on the basis of PYQs, and that's how from the PYQs we'll even try to understand what are the possible areas which may be asked in the future.
I would like to thank Piyush Sir because it was his guidance in history optional subject which made me get this ranked. I was greatly benefited through his guidance in ancient and medieval history, that is paper 1. He explains difficult concepts in a very lucid manner.
My optional was history, and I got 316 marks in my history optional, which I think was the highest in my batch. So I would like to convey my regards to Piyush Sir.
Hello all, this is Piyush. So finally the pre is done, and as you have noticed that this time there was a new trend that UPSC has already released the answer key. जब यूपीएससी ने आंसर की रिलीज कर दिया तो आपके लिए जाहिर सी बात है कि आपके मार्क्स कैलकुलेट करना ज़्यादा आसान हो गया, और मे बी थोड़े बहुत प्लस माइनस की गुंजाइश तो हमेशा रहती है. मुझे लगता है कि दोज हु आर क्लियरिंग द सीसैट, क्वालिफाइंग द सीसैट पेपर एंड दे आर स्कोरिंग समवेयर अराउंड 70, मे बी स्लाइटली हायर और स्लाइटली लोअर, आई थिंक विदाउट वेस्टिंग द टाइम दे शुड गेट इनटू द मेंस प्रिपरेशन. बिकॉज अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि कम से कम एक वीक से 10 दिन का टाइम है जिसमें प्री का रिजल्ट आएगा, और मुझे नहीं लगता है कि देयर इज एनी चांस, बाय एनी चांस यू शुड वेस्ट दिस टाइम, रादर यू शुड स्टार्ट योर प्रिपरेशन. फाइन. नाउ व्हेन इट कम्स टू द प्रिपरेशन, स्पेसिफिकली द पीरियड इन विच वी आर हैविंग दिस सेशन, नाउ वेयर एग्जैक्टली इट शुड बी यूटिलाइज्ड. ठीक है, दिस इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन. मुझे लगता है कि ये जो पीरियड होता है इसमें ऑप्शनल रिवाइज करने का सबसे बेहतर दिस इज द बेस्ट पीरियड टू रिवाइज योर ऑप्शनल. हाँ, पूरी तरीके से नहीं हो सकता है, बट ठीक है, एटलीस्ट यू कैन स्टार्ट दिस प्रोसेस. At least some parts of optional is being revised. In that case, it is always good for you. You are taking a lead or let's say advantage. Fine. So we also want to help you in this particular process. ठीक है, हम अपनी तरीके से we also somehow want to ease your journey, and that's the reason because of what I at the platform of Sarrthi IAS have decided to come up with one course for history optional that's called as QEP Plus. That is undoubtedly for the quality enrichment. That is going to begin from 4th of June. Now you must be wondering what is there in this QEP Plus and how it is going to help you in this process of the means preparation. So in this particular session, precisely we are going to discuss about the same thing. Right? So first of all, when it comes to your preparation of the means, undoubtedly you must be going through mixed emotions. Okay? And whatsoever studies you have done, whichsoever books you have read or the notes you have read, ultimately there is a sort of environment of confusion. कहीं ना कहीं वो confusion होता है कि whether I am ready for this or not, and उस confusion को दूर करने के लिए जाहिर सी बात है कि you have to consolidate your preparation, right? Earlier also we have launched this QEP Plus, maybe on some different platforms, but then ultimately people have taken the advantage of this, and there's a long list of such students, those who took the advantage of these kind of courses and they have become successful. So that's why I would urge you people to take advantage of this particular course. Now, why it is needed? That's also a very important question. That what is it necessary? Is QEP Plus necessary, or you can avoid it? Now, finally, the decision must be made by you only that whether it is necessary or not. But then I just tell you, or I would like to somehow suggest you a couple of things. That it is whether it is needed or not. That is very much depending on one thing, and what is that? That is your condition, right? So exactly what is your condition in this particular period? And your condition, as I did tell you, that it is going to decide that whether you should you should be part of this or not. So maybe there is one possibility that you believe that you are you are fully prepared, right? You are fully prepared. This may be one condition. let's say even though if you're fully prepared, in that case I believe that you must be feeling in this way, that some sort of value addition, like some sort of value addition is pretty much needed. And in fact value addition is something, at least in the subject like optional or in any optional for that matter, there is always possibility of value addition. आपको हर पीरियड पे अगर आप कुछ ना कुछ एक्स्ट्रा चीजें जोड़ लेते हैं, जैसे हिस्ट्री में इसकी अपनी स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, अगर आप उनको ऐड कर लेते हैं तो अनडाउटेडली लाइक योर आंसर वुड बिकम somehow like your answer would somehow become better. Fine. Okay, apart from this, there's another category like where people believe that as far as their content is concerned, like it is not ready. Sometimes what happens, like you have just gone through this process, let's say you completed your foundation course maybe in last year only, or maybe like even in this year also, and आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं you have been feeling that your content is not ready, right? So at least those who are feeling that their content is not ready, they must be in a more dicey condition कि मेरा pre तो निकलने वाला है, but then somehow I'm not fully ready for this, means specifically with respect to this optional, क्योंकि optional में हमेशा कहता हूँ कि this is one of the area which remains always ignored. पता नहीं क्यों स्टूडेंट हमेशा लगता है कि कर लेंगे, हो जाएगा, ठीक है, वो वाली टेंडेंसी रहती है, जिसकी वजह से मुझे लगता है कि लाइक कहीं ना कहीं एक चीज जो है वो प्रॉब्लम रहती है. And then third, like it is coming, fourth, it is coming to answer writing, right? So frankly speaking, if it comes to like your condition right now, you must be having like these kind of this condition, that you believe that your content is ready, but then somehow you haven't done substantial amount of answer writing, and you in this particular period it seems slightly tough for you to go for a rigorous answer writing practice, and that's how you have to utilize this shorter span which is less than 90 days, right? For your for this answer writing. So these are like a couple of cases or couple of let's say conditions or the status which are possible. So look, ultimately if you believe that if you believe that your content is fully ready, even though somehow there is always a possibility of some value addition. Now precisely talking about history optional, I believe that keywords and historiography too, these are two very important things. Maybe in this particular point, a couple of people must be suggesting you that you can even write an answer without historiography, and in fact you can write a very good answer without using historiography. Look, you can write an answer even without reading any textbook, even without joining any course, even without reading any particular notes, just by reading NCERT. And in fact I believe that some of the people have this kind of thinking कि वो सिर्फ NCERT पढ़ के अपने आंसर्स को फ्रेम कर लेंगे, and I have met couple of such people. That's why I have been telling you. अल्टीमेटली हम क्यों किताबें पढ़ते हैं, हम क्यों बहुत सारे जो है वैल्यू एडिशंस करते हैं, वो इसलिए ताकि आखिरी वक्त पे अपने मार्क्स को थोड़ा एज दिया जा सके, ठीक है, बिकॉज इट इज ए कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन, और इन ए कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन आपको क्या करना है, आपको दूसरे से थोड़ा एज लेना है, दूसरे से थोड़ा बेहतर करना है. तो जब आप एक आंसर लिखते हैं विच इज नॉट इंक्लूडिंग ए सिंगल नेम ऑफ हिस्टोरियन, एंड एट द सेम टाइम when you have been adding the name of couple of scholars, so what is the benefit of it? Ultimately you are able to draw the attraction, or you are somehow able to get the attraction of the evaluator. उनको समझ में आती कि नहीं ये आपको पता है. हाँ, यहाँ पे बैलेंस होना बहुत जरूरी है. So that's why when it comes to value addition, it may be in multiple areas, such as it may be in the area of concept. ठीक है, जब पेपर 1 के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं वो कॉन्सेप्चुअल होते हैं, जब तक आपके कॉन्सेप्ट्स बड़े साउंड नहीं है तो पेपर 1 को डील करने में आपको दिक्कत होगी, ठीक है. व्हेन इट कम्स टू even in modern era, somehow concepts do play very important role. So couple of areas are there in the history optional syllabus where some sort of concept is needed. Then keywords do play very important role. So honestly speaking, there are a couple of areas where actually there is always possibility of some sort of value addition. The value addition may be in field of, as I told you, that concept. It may be in field of keywords. It may be even in the field of historiography. And at the end moment, somehow you need to make sure that you are using the right thing in the right place. That's very important, right? So okay, this is something which is which you need to keep in mind. And then those who are feeling that their content is not ready. So honestly speaking, at the end moment, nobody is feeling that their content is ready, because the way UPSC has become quite innovative these days, उसके बाद मुझे लगता है कि शायद ये कॉन्फिडेंस लाना बहुत मुश्किल है कि मेरा कंटेंट रेडी है. तो मुझे लगता है कि एंड मोमेंट पे कुछ नए डायमेंशंस के बारे में जानना, ये दिस इज द नीड और द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एवरीबडी. तो जिनको लग रहा है कि उनका कंटेंट रेडी नहीं है, बट अगर आपको लगता है कि अगर आपने एक बार सिलेबस को गो थ्रू किया है, उस केस में द QEP Plus would be quite helpful to you, right? And apart from that, answer writing is very much part of it, which is that you all understand what is the significance of answer writing, right? So through this particular course, actually how we are going to cater your requirement, that's also important to understand. and like what are the requirements you are having right now. That's also like very important to understand. So if I'll talk about the need, let's first talk about the need. Like the most important need is what? Like revision. Yes, this is true that if you believe that you are not in a condition to, let's say, do any value addition, or you believe that actually like you have done all the value additions which were possible, in that case also you need to go for the revision. Fine. So actually हम क्या करने वाले हैं, हम भी आपको पहली प्रायोरिटी तो हमारी भी यही है कि हम चीजों को रिवाइज करें. मैं भी इस पॉइंट पे नहीं बोलता हूं कि आप बहुत सारे नए कंटेंट ऐड करें. The moment you are adding the new content, ultimately at one point of time will be very much confused. So revision is one important thing, and in fact through this QEP plus we are also going to cater the first requirement is nothing but the revision only. Like within a limited time span, I'm just going to go like I'm going to do one revision completely, and specifically by keeping like several other things in my mind and in our mind, and I'll tell you that like what exactly would be there in the mind, right? So the second thing is what, like this is the value addition, right? So value addition is also important, and like whatsoever areas I have just now discussed, I'll be doing the value addition in those areas such as like keywords, historiography, concepts, like so certain value additions will be doing like in this way. Okay. The third, like it comes to very important thing like that we are going to cater. This is what like that is basically the historiography, right? So historiography is something which is being treated in very different ways. Just now I had been discussing about this like about historiography. आपको पता है कि कुछ लोग बताते हैं कि बहुत सारे हिस्टोरियंस की जरूरत है, कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं भी लिखेंगे तो चलेगा. मुझे लगता है कि बीच का रास्ता सबसे बेहतर है. बीच का रास्ता है you write the name of like needed scholars like which is very much required in this particular answer. That's number one. The most important thing that those historians should be relevant only for the sake of writing the name of historians. If you have been writing you are including the name of historians, that is not going to pay you properly. So you need to know that exactly where like you should use it. And in fact like we are exactly going to do the same thing like in our QP plus. हम बस एक या दो स्कॉलर देखेंगे कि अगर आप इसके ऊपर एक आंसर लिख रहे हैं तो आप इस स्कॉलर को मेंशन कर देना, प्रिसाइजली स्पीकिंग बस इस स्कॉलर को मेंशन कर देना, या ये दो नाम लिख देना. कहाँ लिखना है ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, आप इंट्रोडक्शन में लिखेंगे, बॉडी पार्ट में लिखेंगे या कंक्लूजन में लिखेंगे. तो हम बेसिकली हिस्टोरियोग्राफी से रिलेटेड ये सारी चीजें करने वाले हैं. तो मैं ये कहूंगा कि एट द एंड मोमेंट लाइक वी आर गोइंग टू कंसोलिडेट इट, राइट? सो इंस्टीड ऑफ ओवर बर्डनिंग यू, इंस्टीड ऑफ लाइक getting you so many names, I'll be just like minimizing these names, right? Or minimizing historiography for you like in this period. Of course like there's another requirement, that is what like that is basically the keywords. So we'll be emphasizing on keywords also, and I'll tell you like how we are going to do it. And of course the fifth important thing like that is about basically the structure of answer. Mind you, structure of answer is something which is one of the most important requirement. Even though if your content is less, but then you know that how to present your content in a better structured manner, like that's also going to like going to be sufficient. And that's how like structurization of the answer is also one area like what we are going to emphasize. So honestly speaking, if we'll talk about QP plus like so I have just told you that what are like your requirements and what may be your condition, and as per that we are going to do the things. Fine. So if I'll tell you about the basic features of it, like one by one I'll be discussing. So there will be 30 live answer writing sessions. That's the most important thing. Now what exactly we are going to discuss like in those 30 answer writing sessions, right? So I would like to first of all frame a structure, right? Frame a structure as in like we can see it through this. So basically like the way we'll be providing you such kind of material also, like with every topic I'll be providing you such material, such as like let's say this is the Mahajanpada period, right? Mahajanpada period. What is the period like? Of course, it is one of the areas like from where the so many questions are coming. And in fact, if you really need to understand this, right, for that, this document would be quite helpful to you, right? Everything would be uploaded on the website. So basically, this is for paper one, and in fact, like we have just classified the questions as per the topics. And in fact, I haven't mentioned the question. Apart from that, I have just followed one pattern. Like as these are the questions for last like around 15-16 years. And in fact, I have highlighted those questions which have come recently. And do you know why did I do it? Like there is a reason behind it. I have desperately done it because that you can ultimately make a comparison between the questions which were coming earlier and the questions which are coming in last 5-6 years. So honestly speaking, I have categorically noticed a change coming in the pattern, and I have made you enabled to do it by your own also, because highlighted like and in fact for every year I have highlighted the questions with a different color. तो आपको ये पता है कि ये क्वेश्चन 2025 में आया, तो 2025 के सारे क्वेश्चंस एक कलर में है. तो आप एक बार गो थ्रू भी करेंगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा अच्छा ये 2025 का है, 2024 का है, 2023 का है, एंड सो ऑन. And but the best utility of this, right, the best utility of this, that you will be able to somehow make like you will be able to understand that in which particular area you need to emphasize a lot. Such as there's one like this is the IVC chapter. As you can see that from IVC earlier, like its origin and decline used to be two important components from where mostly the questions were coming. Since very long I kept on saying like that nowadays or over the period, ultimately this urban process and the features would become very important. And as you can see 2025, 24, like 23, 22, 19, now you'll find back to back the questions are coming from this part. And that's how like you'll be able to make this kind of comparison like even in the other areas also. And in fact from which part the questions are like increasing, that like this document would be quite helpful. So that's how I have just classified them like in a particular way that it would be very helpful. So whenever it comes to getting into this content, right, whenever it comes to getting into this content, what would be one of the like best guideline or the mentor for us, like the classification of the questions. But not only the classification of the question, as I told you that there is a changing pattern. You can't like make your preparation based completely on the basis of PYQs, and that's how from the PYQs we'll even try to understand कि what are the possible areas which may be asked in the like in the future. सो वो देते हैं, वो हिंट देते हैं, ठीक है, कहीं ना कहीं वो मिलता है. बस आपको एग्जांपल के बतौर में आपको दिखाना चाहूंगा फॉर एनी पीरियड लाइक यू कैन से लाइक लेट्स से, ठीक है, दिस इज द महाजनपदा पीरियड, राइट. So if it is the Mahajanpada period, you can find that in past few years what sort of questions have come. So they have asked the origin of the territorial republics. Matlab Gana Sanghas, basically they have asked the like origin about it, right? Fine, right? They have asked this question. Like in 2018 there was also a question, give an account of the Gana Sanghas. Like why did they decline? Now it was a question on based on the origin. It was a question based on the decline. So whenever it comes to the republics or the Gana Sanghas precisely, always like the questions were based on the features, right? Or maybe the debate. Now the questions are being asked, they are very different. So that's how you will be able to understand how the questions are getting into a very different dimension. And as per that only, like as I told you, that we'll try to somehow cater your requirement. Such as if it comes to Mahajanpada period, in that case in Mahajanpada period, what are the possible areas? So like one is the political area which is important. What is one important change? That is state formation. What is the next important change? That is economy. That's called as second urbanization. And in second urbanization, such as like what are the possible areas? So factors for the growth, craft, trade, like these are the areas. Then trade, how come like trade can be divided? In the same way, society, what are the possible important areas are like of the society, such as Varna, Jati and gender? These are like two important areas. So this is how I can say again like Buddhism and Jainism, and again like when it comes to Buddhism, because there is a less possibility of question from Jainism. So what are the possible areas of this, right? Apart from that, I'll just try to incorporate the whole Mahajanpada period in just 2 or 3 pages in this way only. Such as if it comes to Gana Sanghas, like these are the possible areas: rise, feature and decline. अब इसमें हमें क्या करना है, इसमें 2 चीजें ध्यान में रखनी है हमें कि हमें प्राइमरी सोर्सेज बहुत सारे डिस्कस करने, बहुत सारे मतलब जितने हो सके, और हमें साथ साथ कुछ जो है हिस्टोरियोग्राफी जो है वो इंक्लूड करनी है. सो इसी तरीके से मैं मार्क करके दूंगा. जैसे इसमें आपको प्राइमरी सोर्सेज भी मिलेगा, ठीक है, जैसे अंगुत्तर निकाय है, कहीं पे महावस्तु है, ठीक है, और उसके साथ कौन कौन से हिस्टोरियंस है जो आप राइज, अगर के गण संघास के राइज के बारे में क्वेश्चन आ रहा है तो आप कहाँ से इस्तेमाल करेंगे. आप अगर फीचर्स के बारे में आ रहा है क्वेश्चन तो कौन से हिस्टोरियंस इस्तेमाल करेंगे. तो ये एक पैटर्न है जो आप फॉलो करेंगे. तो आपके प्राइमरी डॉक्यूमेंट जिसका हम इस्तेमाल करने वाले हैं, दैट वुड बी दिस, लाइक नो. So in this QEP, undoubtedly in 7 classes, if I'm trying to finish ancient, so it would be impossible for me to finish everything. So मैं कुछ जगहों पे तो I'll try to discuss in this way. जहाँ पे मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ट्रेडिशनल चीजें हैं, जहाँ पे बहुत रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, वहाँ पे मैं थोड़ी बहुत ऐसे PDF नोट्स के थ्रू आपको थोड़ी हेल्प करने की कोशिश करूंगा. एंड इनफैक्ट द इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज वुड बी देयर, राइट. सो आई वुड बी सेइंग कि हर एरिया में आपको ऐसे PDF डॉक्यूमेंट मिलेंगे. जहां पे भी मुझे लगता है कि आपको एक कंटेंट चाहिए, apart from those like handwritten documents, I'll be providing you these kind of PDFs also. So हम दोनों मिला के मर्ज करके कुछ ऐसा बनाएंगे, ठीक है. मैंने पहले भी कहा कि एक एरिया में या एक टॉपिक में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मैं 2 या 3 पेजेस दूंगा, ठीक है. उसमें से ही हम अपने कंटेंट को बनाने की कोशिश करेंगे या अपने आंसर्स को लिखने की कोशिश करेंगे, राइट. सो वन ऑफ द बेसिक फीचर ऑफ दिस इज व्हाट, लाइक सो एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस what exactly we're going to discuss in these live answer writing sessions. So first we'll discuss about the content, and towards the end of the session, right, we are going to discuss about the like a couple of important questions. और जब हम important questions की बात आती है तो we won't be picking it only from the PYQs. Maybe I'll be drafting some new questions also. ठीक है, नए questions मतलब नए dimension कि अगर इस तरीके के questions आ जाते हैं तो हम उसको कैसे examination hall में हमें tackle करना है. That's also like we'll be discussing over there. So a couple of questions we'll be discussing. Like there also PYQ and the important themes covered, right? Of course, I have already discussed about that what sort of like enrichment I'm going to do, right? Along with this, the test series is very much part of it. Like so I'll be providing you 4 sectional and 4 like fully syllabus tests, or we can call it mock text also. And of course, detailed evaluation would be there, like model answers and the discussion would be provided to you. Then it comes to the like next part. It is about the mentorship and the guidance. Okay, there would be regular mentorship and the guidance at least like thrice in a week. I'll be available for the personal discussion, one-to-one discussion, right? So that's how, because ultimately needs or sometimes problems are very individualistic. So अगर problem individualistic है तो आप सब group में cater भी नहीं कर सकते, तो इस वजह से जो है personalized mentorship होगा. And then it comes to structured weekly schedule, right? So we are just going to follow one structured schedule. The structured schedule which is somehow helping you to finish the syllabus or revise the syllabus in a time-bound manner. Now this is the this is the timeline with what I have given here. So as you can find that ultimately everything is being provided along with the date and the time on what particular date we're going to cover which topic. So all these things are are well provided to you in advance, and in fact the date of the test are also fixed within it, right? So जब हमारा instant खत्म हो जाएगा, we'll go for the test of sectional test of instant and so on so forth, right? So that's how I'm just going to discuss about it. So when it comes to our program QEP Plus, basically I hope now you are having this clarity that what sort of exact features we are going to discuss in this QEP Plus. And I believe that whatsoever requirements are there, somehow I'll be able to cater all those requirements. If you have any doubt regarding this QEP Plus program for history optional, in that case all these contact numbers are there. In fact, feel free to reach out to us, right? And we'll be somehow resolving all your problems that you have been facing. So I believe that this course is going to be quite helpful for you, and at the end moment somehow you'll be able to add at least 40 to 50 marks in the optional, and you understand the value of that. Thank you very much.